Hi there, welcome to I Alone Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Gemini energy, and we're going to read this from a couple different perspectives because depending on if the person harnesses high vibe Gemini energy or a more worldly focused Gemini energy or a more shadowy Gemini energy, what's going on in their life could be different and how they're handling this could be different. So people who harness high vibe Gemini energy is about our dualistic nature and that we have free will to align with our more hopeful, believing, loving nature, growing up, maturing ourselves, letting love and intuition be the guiding foundation. Or we can align with our more worldly nature, egoic nature, are more immature, all about the world nature, about our self nature. And so depending on what people align with within themselves is going to affect how they're handling this energy right now. So we're going to get some cards out of the Intuit deck, see what they want to add to the story. We all tap into Gemini energy. It's about what our truth is. Hope, faith, and belief in love, or ourself, the world. Indulge our more... life's about learning lessons. And we're somewhere on the continuum. We have like Jesus and Mother and Teresa way out at the end. We got really awful people at the end. And then the bulk of the people are kind of in the middle. And some are juggling and some are more tilted towards the world and themselves. And other people are more tilted towards hope and faith and belief in love. Music. And I interpret the music card because that's part of creativity and imagination. Is kind of, again, what in our fire sign energy of kind of what motivates and inspires us. And the reason this came out is because of rejection and practice. If we've been rejected, we've been kind of like listen to our intuition, and I think we're drawn and attracted to people because we have valuable lessons to learn from them, good and bad, because we got a lot of lessons to learn in life. And not everything is going to work out the way we want, because some of the people we're attracted to, the lesson we have to learn from them is that some people kind of are playing a different tune than we are. We just don't realize it. And it's to learn those subtle differences of what drives and motivates people. And it does take a lot of practice. And some people just reject listening to their intuition anymore. It's like, no, I'm going to live more from my mind than my heart. I'm not going to get hurt again. And life is about learning lessons. And people come into our life because we have lessons to learn from them. And we come into other people's lives for them to learn lessons from us. The overarching reason for the reading is the Three of Wands. We all have this idea of how we dream of life and what we want to have come into reality. And we're all going to take action to try to bring that dream into reality based on, and this is fire sign energy of Aries, of what drives and motivates us. And after that is the Hierophant energy, which can represent our philosophy of life. The Hierophant can represent all these institutions of the world. It can also represent being a spiritual leader in the world. Are we being someone who gets more caught up in the things of the world? Shadowy Hierophant, I want status, I want image, I want power, I want social clout. I want to look like a pillar of society. I want people to view me as a pillar of society. That is the most important thing in my life. Or is it high vibe energy is about being balanced? This is fire energy. This is earth sign energy. Are we balanced between the things of the world that we want, but also our creative, inspired, intuitive, loving nature? And being balanced between the two is, represents justice. Otherwise we're tipped out of balance, too much into ourselves, too much into the world. If we can find a balance between Aries energy is about the self, in high vibe, the Hierophant is about there's more to life than just these things of the world and just ourself. Especially the Hierophant can represent, again, all these institutions in the world, workplaces and marriages and families. If we're going to be all about ourselves, it's kind of hard to work together with others, right? And we have to take some inspired action in our philosophy of life to be willing to learn lessons if we want to work with other people. I can't have everything just my way, and other people can't expect to just have things their way. And it's hard to be in relationships if everybody just wants to be about themselves. Why are we in the relationship? It's supposed to be looking at life from a higher perspective for the common good. Do we want other people to heal and grow and mature themselves and love and believe in themselves? Shadowy energy, are we so competitive in the world? No, it's all about me and my ego and my image. I don't want to help other people love and believe in themselves because maybe they do better than me. Shadowy energy is ego, competitiveness. Looking at life from a higher perspective in high vibe Taurus energy is that, we're also here to help others. And work cooperatively with others. There's a purpose here than just about ourself and our own selfishness. But some people are all consumed with themselves. And we'll probably come into contact with people who are like that, and we need to see the truth of it. They might want to get in relationships, but it's really more about them and their ego and their image and their status, or how they can indulge themselves in it. How it benefits them. Not because of love. Other people want to work together with people and get in relationships with people because of love. Just depends what their truth is. And the kings in tarot can talk about taking action in the world, and we all take action is considered masculine energy, and the feminine energies can represent how we think and feel. People are going to take action based on their philosophy of life, of what drives and motivates them. That's their truth. And that's what they think is just and fair. We have people out in the world hurting people, robbing people. They justify their actions. Everybody does. If we didn't justify our actions, we probably wouldn't be doing what we're doing. We have to see the truth, because the truth sets us free. When we're in relationships with people, are they more about themselves, or are they more just and fair? Are they inspired by truth and love and justice and fairness, harnessing these energies in a high vibe way? Aries, Taurus, Libra. What do people think is just and fair? I should be about myself, my wants, my needs, my lust, my greed, my pride, my ego. I should get in a relationship with you. That makes practical, logical sense. And you should stay in a relationship with me. It makes practical, logical sense. We should live more from our mind than our heart. We should live our life like this because it makes us look good in the world. And you should stay here because of that. Or are people inspired by love and truth and justice, and that's why they take the action they take in the world? I think we'll just leave those right there. Okay, so what's going on in Gemini energy? We had 3 cards that came out that are upside down. The Queen of Wands, the 3 of Swords, and the 10 of Wands. And the reason is because of the 10 of Pentacles. The 10 of Pentacles is Virgo energy that we all tap into, where we put in work and effort to get to the truth. And we've learned a lot of lessons in life. The people who've learned a lot of lessons in life, they're self-aware. They know why they've done things that they've done. They've also learned a lot of lessons from other people about other people, and probably know who they don't want to hang out with and invest much time, energy, and effort into. Because if life's about learning lessons, some people have learned a lot of lessons. Some people have a lot of things in the world. Money, high vibe people can have money, status, image, power, attractive, charming, but they don't use the things that they have to try to manipulate people to get them to stay in a relationship with them. They're full of abundant lessons and resources and self-awareness and love. And that's the difference between people. What foundation, and Virgo energy, again, is about what our truth is. Is our truth, we want to move forward and be a King of Pentacles. We want to have the status and the image and the money, or indulge or be all about ourselves. Do we think if we have those things of the world, that gives us the right? We think it's just and fair. I have these things of the world. People should defer to me. It should be more about me. Or have we learned lessons in life and learned how to play nicely with other people, and we don't feel proud of ourselves and think it's just and fair to try to manipulate and control people? That we're truthful and honest and just and fair and act with character and integrity. High vibe Taurus is acting with character and integrity, where you really walk the talk. Other people want to look like they're a pillar of society, so people will get in relationships with them, but then they're stubborn and prideful and egotistical and think unwilling to budge, inflexible, unwilling to learn lessons in life, not wanting to see the truth of their kind of more shadowy ways of being. Well, let's look at these in the upright, and then some high vibe people had been in relationships with people who harness these energies in a shadowy way. Why did they get in relationships with those people? Because to some degree, they kind of harness these energies in a shadowy way too. The Queen of Wands can be, we still got some lessons to learn. There's something that we're kind of operating a little bit more. Queen of Wands is Leo energy from our more worldly, egoic nature. Three of Swords, we can be heartbroken. Ten of Wands, we can be overwhelmed. But high vibe people can be still a little bit in their worldly nature, can be heartbroken, but they still can be inspired by love, even if they are overwhelmed. And they get in relationships with other people, but the people they could get in a relationship with harness this energy. And the Ten of Wands is Sagittarius energy about higher learning and education. The high vibe people are motivated to wrap their brain around this game of life. I might be a little bit in my ego, I might be heartbroken, but I am inspired to wrap my brain around this game of life. I still have not given up on my dreams in love. But they could get in relationships with other people who, in a lot of ways, they could harness this energy to a degree the same. But the other one isn't motivated and inspired to learn lessons in life. I'm in my ego because I've been heartbroken. And they might still be driven and motivated more by things of the world. Or their stubbornness, or their pride, or their ego. Or maybe they are more prideful and egotistical. Maybe they are manipulative. High vibe Queen of Wands, and the queens can talk about how we think and feel. These are all three masculine energies. This is how different people take action in the world, male or female. Why do they present themselves and take those actions in the world? Two feminine figures here because of how they think and feel. That's what motivates them. Some people are more driven by their ego. They have been heartbroken before. They want to feel better. Can be one thing. Have we learned lessons in life? Are we driven and motivated by money or materialism or indulgence or ourself? Do I just want to feel better? Well, then I'm going to go try to get in a relationship with someone because I want to feel better. Everybody can kind of want to get in a relationship to feel better. But again, some people are motivated and inspired, and their truth is, I have hope and faith and belief and love. And the other person's like, I'm kind of more about getting in a relationship. It's good for my ego and my image and my status. And that's what drives and motivates me. So then we can have people, they're in mismatched relationships. And some people are just motivated by money and materialism, Some people are very egotistical and manipulative. Oh shit, that last person didn't want to put up with my bullshit. I gotta go find someone else to try to be bossy and controlling and stubborn and all about myself. And oh shit, if they won't put up with my crap, then I guess I gotta go find someone else. We're either willing to grow up and mature ourselves and realize and do this work to figure out why things didn't work out the way we wanted, that we were heartbroken, right? Why didn't that work out? How did I contribute to that not working out? What about the person I got in a relationship? What kind of drove and motivates them? Do I get in relationships with people who aren't motivated and inspired by the same thing? Are they prideful and egotistical and I go get in a relationship and I'm not really a prideful, egotistical person? Was it just because I was attracted to them and I wanted to have sex with them, but we're not really on the same page? Are they bossy, prideful? Why do I get in relationships with certain people? Am I trying to change other people? Am I trying to get them to acknowledge my worth and value? You know, all the list goes on. Anyway, some high vibe people did wrap their brain around this game of life, and they know that they don't operate more from pride and ego, and they don't try to manipulate people in a relationship. They're in high vibe Leo is, I'm open to love. I'm loving and warm and giving and nurturing, you know? And I was heartbroken. Things didn't work out the way I wanted, but I'm trying to maintain balance between my mind and my heart. And I might have lessons to learn about that because I might be stay in relationships and keep indulging people in their poor behavior. And I've got to get balance within myself so I don't get myself involved with people, or learn to stand up for myself and move away from people when I feel like they're trying to manipulate me in a relationship. People who've learned some lessons in life have learned to get out of their ego about the situation. If I'm dealing with people who I thought were going to be motivated and inspired by love, and I thought in Libra energy they were going to be just and fair, and they're not, I need to learn to pick up my sticks and I need to go. And I need to get out of my ego about it. Oh, no, I'll just keep putting in all this work to make it work. Oh, no, I'm sure one day they'll change. We need to see the truth. People who are more motivated to be just and fair, act with character and integrity, inspired by love, would be there. And we need to see when people are not on the same page as us. And even though it can be heartbreaking because we love them and we'd like to be in a relationship with them, if we see people anymore that seem to haven't gotten out of their ego, haven't gotten out of living more from their mind than their heart, and past pain and heartbreak, and aren't more motivated and inspired by the things of the world, then I'm not going to get in a relationship with them. And because some people could have dealt with people, maybe 3 different types of people, but people who you felt were kind of manipulative or prideful, people you thought would be just and fair, who were not balanced between their mind and their heart. They live more from their mind than their heart. And people who think that are so consumed with things of the world, or people who think you should bring all the creativity and the imagination and the inspiration because I bring these things of the world. And they think, the Hierophant Taurus energy, also in the 6 of Pentacles, can kind of represent a more transactional relationship. Well, I have these things of the world, you have the creativity, the inspiration, and the love, and we should exchange resources with each other. And it's kind of like the loving, creative, inspired person is the person who puts in all the work and effort to make the relationship inspired and balanced and loving, but the other person really isn't. And there doesn't seem to be equal give and take. And it's like, I'm not going to be the whole thing is, I want a relationship that's balanced. And in high vibe, the 10 of Pentacles is, we have these things of the world, and we have stability and security and can enjoy maybe some of the finer things in life. We don't need it all. For some people, they need it all. And we all try to work together cooperatively in love and justice and fairness. It's like the 5 of Pentacles and like a 5 of Cups, which is resources also, come together within one person, and the 5s can represent change. That I have my worldly nature, I have my emotionally intuitive loving nature. I'm a balance of both foundations. I am not just one or just the other, but some people are. Some people haven't learned to discipline their over-loving nature, and they're indulging people in poor behavior. Other people are in kind of like poor behavior, and they're not going to do the more loving, just, and fair. Every relationship has to be balanced. but it can be equally out of balance, where a loving person is giving to someone who's taking. And it's supposed to be like more equal give and take, you know? And then we all can be on the same page, but, you know, life's about learning these lessons and being enlightened to the truth about being more emotionally mature, treating each other the way you like to be treated, you know, so we can be in a just and fair relationship like when we're 15. Well, that's going to be a different type of relationship as we learn lessons in life. We've kind of been enlightened and learned more lessons at age 25 and hopefully at age 35. You know, we kind of, if you were to look at life as all these different tracks of life that in tarot you hear them refer to it as timelines, some people still are living in relationships where it's like a 15-year-old because that can be their emotional maturity level and still how they view life. Other people are living it more like a 25-year-old, other people more like a 35-year-old. You know, if you were to have kept learning lessons throughout your life, and, you know, we periodically drive our life off the ditch, that whatever age we are, there's people who are much more mature and stable and grounded than we are because we kind of got deterred because we had some lessons to learn, you know? High vibe people are not in their ego. They have done the work. They were inspired by their philosophy of life to get to the truth, and they did the work to get to the truth. While they were maybe doing that, they did not take action out of ego and heartbreak and lust and greed. They took the time to do the work to get clear about their truth. And then we have the Lover's card. I have, you know, again, we can present ourselves any way we want to in the world, but how do we really think and feel? The high vibe people don't want to go take action in the world, hiding their upside down in these cards, which an upside down can mean extremes. Some people right now are taking action in the world, trying to bring a dream into reality to get the justice they think they deserve. But they're acting very much out of their pride and ego. They could be extremely imbalanced, letting their mind or their ego or this desire for these things of the world, and maybe that's why they want to get in a relationship. They could be people who, if high vibe Sagittarius is about higher learning and education, they reject that. I reject the truth. We either are motivated and inspired to get to the truth, to wrap our brain around this game of life, or we want to stay in denial of the truth, or we flat out reject the truth that it should be about love. And some people don't believe in love, don't think that's the point of life or being on this planet. It could be all about them having a certain status and image and getting what they want in the world. And the Ten of Wands, it's like they reject their creative, inspired, intuitive nature. No, their intuition could be screaming at them. You shouldn't be doing this. This isn't just. This isn't fair. This isn't right. And they're like shadowy Aries and shadowy King of Swords can be, I'm the boss. I make the rules. These people are going to learn some hard lessons because they're not the boss, but they don't get it yet, you know? They're in like, the world is like a manifestation, and to try to create, to see what is possible, and to create new things, like high vibe energy represented by God, wanting to give birth to new things, shadowy energy represented by the devil, wanting to stop things from giving birth to new things and continuing to do the ways we've always done it. And these people do not want to do things any differently than the way they have done life or the way they were brought up to view life or something. Not willing to listen to their intuition, to step out of their comfort zone and let love guide them and their intuition to guide them, living their own authentic life. Sometimes people grew up in families where people were controlling them and they could have felt overwhelmed, and it was, you have to let go of listening to your own intuition, thinking this is going to be just and fair, and that you can go live your authentic life because you can. I'm the boss. I make the rules. You have to live your life like this. So some people didn't live their authentic life. And they could have gotten in relationships with people they weren't on the same page with. We've kind of tempered it down. I was getting all hot and heavy on like immature, selfish, bossy people. But the whole truth is, everybody has the free will to live their life whatever they want, way they want. If some people grew up in a family where they weren't able to really go do what they really wanted to do, if they are more egotistical, prideful, self-centered, that is how they want to live their life. And they could have grown up in families that kind of restricted them. You know, maybe they're more narcissistic. And they could have grown up in a family that really tried to make them kind of behave, you know, and move forward, trying to present themselves as a more stable, grounded person and mature person and less narcissistic person than they really are. And it kind of covered up the fact, the moon can be like hiding things beneath the surface. It kind of, some of these people, because of the people that were around them in their life, in their family or whatever, had to move forward maybe with people who did more toe the line and did kind of like teach them how to not be so much about themselves. So some people learned how to play the part really well of being looking like a pillar of society. Libra energy of the King of Swords that people can harness can be like their public politician persona. Go out in the world, try to present yourself as this pillar of society and whatever, so that people pleasing people, so you have this certain image and status. The thing is, some people, that isn't the truth of who they are. They really are all about themselves. And maybe when those people, maybe those, you know, if we move from our community and we move to a new location, or if those people in our life aren't in our life anymore, then those people could decide, now I don't have to live my life like that anymore. I can go do what I love. And they could be people who, you know, are kind of more aligned with their shadowy nature of the moon card. And they want to go live their life that's aligned with their truth. And, you know, how they want to live their life could be different than the people that they grew up with, say, or their friend group or their family group. For other people, they could be people that just do live more from their mind than their heart. They kind of maybe lack confidence within themselves. The Five of Wands can be feeling left out in the cold. The Queen of Wands could be that they, you know, high vibe Leo is like also represented by the sun. In high vibe, we would give ourselves the things that we wish other people would have given us. Some people could have grown up in families that weren't very warm or loving or nurturing or giving. And, you know, we can feel heartbroken because of that, and it can feel overwhelming. And then some people do look to get in relationships with other people to feel better and to want to be in a relationship, but they want to hide from being that type of person themselves. And sometimes people were so kind of controlled in a family maybe that their true self, because Aries would be our more bold, brave, confident, authentic self, is kind of buried beneath the surface. And it can be a problem in a relationship because, again, if one person has worked through those issues, they could have grown up with some of those same issues. I mean, we all grow up in families where, you know, we can feel like people are trying to limit it and control us. And sometimes we don't learn some of the life lessons we need to learn because people aren't encouraging us to be more bold and brave and authentically ourselves. You need to conform to the world. You need to act like this, be a good shoe or a good lamp when I take you out in the world, honey. And it's kind of like you're kind of not like valued as being your own unique human being. It's kind of like you're being taken out in the world to show off how wonderful and perfect or good you can be. And how about we just let me be a child and I'm not going to be picture perfect, and I get to be more creative or inspired just to learn. It's that trying to find that balance, right? But I think there's some people, if some people previously listened to their intuition and they got in a relationship and that relationship didn't work out, again, are we motivated and inspired to deal with the truth? I can keep staying in illusion about it, but why didn't that work out? What was the lesson I was meant to learn? What did I learn? Did I learn that some people are wearing a false mask, that they aren't who they say they are? Good. If I think back on it, was my intuition screaming in my ear and I ignored it because I thought, no, God, I want this. For whatever reason I want it. I'm going to stay in it. Okay. And then eventually it didn't work out. We did get ourselves in a mismatched relationship. And now we have to listen to our intuition, and they could have listened to their intuition. We're not really driven and motivated by the same things. My idea of the dream life and dream relationship and what I think is just and fair and what drives and motivates me is different than what you think is just and fair and what drives and motivates you. If people are more, if they're more motivated by the things of the world or things that make them feel important or acknowledged, they have the free will to go live their life like that. And if they're in relationships with people who it's like, that's not where I derive my worth and value, and those things aren't as important as to me, they're going to want to go be in relationships with people who are more on the same page as them. And if someone is a person who doesn't want to be more authentically themselves and shine their like authentic light in the world and step outside, well, the Hierophant can be more about conforming to society, and if that's how some people like to live their life, but other people are like, I don't really make my life about wanting to conform to society. We all get impressed upon that growing up in our life. When we're younger, we can definitely put a lot of work in to not really stand out, especially like in our younger years of schooling, because we don't want to stand out and we want people to like us, but other people don't. It's like their soul is calling them to be their authentic self. And I think everyone's soul is kind of calling them to give birth to grow to their full potential and align with their more creative, inspired, intuitive, loving nature, because that's how we grow to our full potential. If we make our life more about us and just our ego or our image or status, we can grow to a great potential by worldly standards. But were we really authentically being bold and brave and confident, or were we being more selfish and greedy and stuff like that, And it is about just seeing the truth of people's philosophy. Some people don't want to be more bold and brave in the world. High vibe Aries would be being a leader in the world, but in a balanced way and in relationships based on truth and love. anybody who's in relationships with people where they're acting with character and integrity and truth and love and not being selfish and greedy and prideful and bossy and controlling and abusive and manipulative is someone worthy of looking up to, but and a true leader in the world. But we know that's not how the world works, and generally the people who end up being looked up to are the people that are more about, by worldly standards, looking like I'm a boss in the world, and look how much money I have, and look how much power I have, and look how much attention I get, or look at what I look like, or, you know. And that's kind of that more worldly philosophy of life. But the King of Swords is Libra energy, is about, we'll reap what we sow in a way. If we're not willing to be more authentically ourselves, odds are people who are more authentic and inspired by love are going to move away from us because we were hiding our more bold, brave, confident, authentic nature. Why? Because in order to move forward in that way, they would have to be more balanced within themselves. And they're kind of tipped out of balance right now, and it takes work and effort to get balance within yourself. And also, they maybe have to speak their truth and stand up for themselves. And they're maybe not willing to do that, to really actually speak their truth or stand up for themselves. And speak their truth to the status quo. And that could be within themselves, their own conforming nature or fearful nature. Let's hide our authentic self, and you have to stand up to your own shadow nature and say, I'm not going to let my fear, my insecurity, my pride, my ego, my immature, lustful, greedy, prideful nature run my life anymore. You know, I'm kicking you out. You have to go sit in the back seat. My loving nature is going to be in the driver's seat of my life. And this is how I am going to move forward now. And I am going to listen to my intuition. And I am going to step out of my comfort zone. I'm going to go into unknown territory where I don't know everything and can't see everything clearly because I haven't been there before. But I'm inspired to face my fears, to keep pursuing truth and justice and fairness. And if where I have been, I don't feel like I've been getting the truth and the justice and the fairness, then I am willing to face my fears and stand up for myself and speak my truth and take action on my truth, that I am stepping out of my comfort zone. Because we repeat an old pattern over and over and over until we've learned the lesson we were meant to learn from it. And some people have learned the lesson. I can't keep living my life the way I've been living it. I can't keep rejecting my intuition and my heartbreak and feeling overwhelmed. I have to love myself, and where I've been might have had all these things of the world that I thought I wanted, but I feel left out in the cold in this relationship. Even though I could have love for the people I'm in a relationship with, but maybe I'm the one who is the more loving person that gives to people. And the people I'm in a relationship with aren't open and loving and warm. And they could be very much about trying to control things or about themselves. And they're imbalanced and it's overwhelming. And they lack having any desire to get out of their defensive nature or their egoic nature or their stubborn nature to move forward with me. And if they're unwilling to step out of their comfort zone, and I know staying in that, living my life that way, doesn't make me happy, in truth and love, I wish you peace, but I got to listen to my intuition. I have a dream, and my dream is apparently different than your dream. And you know, sometimes some people who aren't very loving or giving or are more about ego or image, they could want people to stay in the relationship with them because it's good for their ego and image. And they somehow got a loving, nurturing, supportive, encouraging, creative, inspired person to get in a relationship with them, even though they're not that type of person. But even for them, it can be overwhelming because the people are so different. It's like, oh my gosh, it's like I'm trying to hide the truth of who I am. And this really isn't how I like to live my life. And I have to kind of, say if you were someone who likes to go party a lot more and you're in a relationship with someone who um, doesn't want you, that's not, you can't do that in a way. I mean, it's one thing, we all like to hang out with people who are like ourselves. Doesn't mean some people have to be shadowy or not shadowy. At a core foundational level, we might find more out about what drives people, but anybody can want to go out more, could want to go bowling, could want to party a little bit more, let loose a little bit more. And other people are very more buttoned up and, we can't do that. And, it's just not their truth. Eventually they could feel like, I have to hide my authentic self to be in a relationship with someone, and I don't want to keep hiding myself either. And I would rather like to be in a relationship with someone who's more like me too. Everybody can be high vibe people. They're just some people, you know, it can be the way we want to keep moving forward. We can get in a relationship, we can move forward in a relationship, there can be love there, but then what about the future? Oh, well, I want to go this way and you want to go that way, and I want to go that way and you want to go this way. Big town, small town, marriage, not marriage, blah, 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 blah. The list goes on. And the people that we're going to move forward with in life and that we are currently moving forward with in life are people that we do feel in love. We can have, our adult children, our siblings, our parents. Everybody can kind of be going their different directions, but so long as people are moving forward in the energy of love, and we all have the common goal of working together in justice and fairness and treating each other with character and integrity, and everybody is listening to their intuition and being motivated to keep moving forward in this relationship, not trying to control people, not being stubborn and prideful and egotistical and trying to manipulate people, then, with all these different people in our life, we kind of keep moving forward with them because we maintain balance in the relationship and act with character and integrity and treat each other the way we like to be treated. It's more difficult if it's a romantic interest because there we kind of really need to be more on the same page to a degree. We kind of have to have the same philosophy of life of what we think is just and fair, or one person it's kind of like their dream doesn't come into reality because there's not justice and fairness and cooperation. I think let's move on. There could be some people that aren't listening to their intuition or communicating with some people they love in the world because that person isn't willing to stay in this comfort zone. That person is going and living life differently and listening to their intuition, and some of the people that they could have been in relationship with aren't willing to listen to their intuition and get more balanced and step out of their comfort zone. So sometimes we have to leave behind people that we can love, but it's like, I can't live my life like that. I can't keep moving forward only operating from like making the things of the world is supposed to be the epitome of my life when I am a creative, inspired, intuitive, loving person. And I could feel this is more superficial and shallow and all about ego and image and money. And I want to be in relationships with people who are kind of more connected in with their emotional, intuitive, more bold, brave, confident nature to be more just and fair and balanced in a relationship. The way you live your life and the way they want to keep moving forward is maybe making it more about where everybody keeps their more authentic nature hidden beneath the surface. And people don't listen to their intuition or their creative, emotional, intuitive nature. No, we have to live more from our mind than our heart. It's like, well, then you go live your life like that, and I hope you enjoy it. But that's not how I want to live my life. And I want to go be in relationships with people who I think are willing to step out of their comfort zone, and we keep growing and healing and maturing ourselves. Shadowy energy is like become stagnant and dead. There's nothing new to learn there, but people keep living their life that way because they could have so much fear about believing in themselves or standing up for themselves, not making their life about conforming to the world, which makes me think of that Bible verse. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And that's about listening to intuition. Even though things that we have went to go pursue before didn't maybe work out the way we wanted, life's about learning these lessons. And I've learned I don't like staying here. So I am going to be bold and brave and confident and stand up for myself and listen to my intuition. I think I learned what I needed to learn there. We're not on the same page. And I felt left out in the cold from love. I didn't feel it was just and fair and balanced, but they could think it's just and fair and balanced to live their life that way. And they have the free will to keep living their life like that and keep moving forward like that. And some of those people are now trying to move forward with someone else and trying to get that person. Let's be caught up and inspired by this illusion of the world and make our life all about these things. Or you be an illusion about the person I am, view me as loving, but I'm creating an illusion. I'm really just more about myself and ego and image and money and materialism, you know? Do you want to be caught up in the illusion with me and make these things so important in your life that you won't keep ignoring your intuition and your more authentic, creative, inspired, loving nature hidden? Other people also, like some of you, you've already gotten out of these relationships or workplaces. Other people could just now be getting out of it. High vibe people are trusting the divine. If life is about learning lessons, I need to keep moving forward, taking action to have stability and security and justice and fairness in my life, speak my truth in love, and trust that the new lesson will appear. Because if life's about learning lessons, and I learned I didn't like that God, that wasn't my truth, then I'm waiting for the next lesson to appear as I am moving forward, taking action in just my friendships, my relationships, my work, things like that. Okay, what's coming up? Okay, got to move the camera. Card fell on the floor. What is coming up for the people that harness some high vibe energy and hope and faith and belief and love? Well, this card is off the table now. What is it? The Seven of Cups. Emotional confusion and illusion. Done with the illusion. Some people, are so caught up in the illusion about themselves or about the things of the world and what they make so important for them. Other people are no longer caught up in the illusion of these people or these things of the world. Oops. Okay. So, what's coming up for the people who harness some high vibe Gemini energy that they might not see coming up? Okay, we have two cards not showing themselves, and the reason they came out is because of the Ace of Cups. When we love is the answer. When we offer love to people, not everybody will move forward with us in that way, and they will reject it. Because that's not kind of the tune that they're in alignment with in the world right now, because we view life certain ways based on the lessons that we've learned, and they're playing a different tune than we are right now. And so then we realize it takes practice. I'm still looking to find people who are on the same page as me. And we offer love to the situation. Love helps us get out of our ego, get out of our past pain and heartbreak, get out of our overwhelm. And love is what helps us move forward and listen to our intuition and believe in ourselves and walk the talk and maintain balance within ourselves so that we don't take action more out of pride and ego and fear and insecurity and codependency, which could be what some other people could be doing in the world right now. And what people don't know about you with these cards, and what you maybe don't see coming, is for one, if you used to harness these energies in a more worldly way, you're harnessing them in a more high vibrational way. And when you quit aligning with them in a more worldly, shadowy way, you weren't in alignment with certain people in your life, and you are willing to cut those people out of your life and distance yourself. I mean, you can still see them at Christmas and Thanksgiving, but you just don't hang around them maybe as much as you used to for some of them. And that's why some people also wouldn't move forward with you. Oops, got an alarm on my phone. Because they would have to learn to love themselves enough to stand up for themselves and what they believe in and become more independent, high vibe energies about kind of knowing your worth and value and knowing how to fill your own cup emotionally to be more independent in the world instead of letting people try to get you like in group think where you can't be your authentic self in the world. So what is it? The Knight of Pentacles in reverse and the Chariot in reverse. So in the Knight of Pentacles reverse, you had the Knight of Pentacles in the upright. It would be going towards a Chariot, being more emotionally balanced in love. And Aries energy, the Emperor, is who gets in the Chariot. We had all these lessons to learn about, life is about learning lessons. And if the Emperor gets in the Chariot, it is about learning lessons in your heart, from your mind, from your 3D world, from your passionate nature. And you kind of have run your life off into the ditch learning all these lessons that now, when you make decisions, you don't just let your heart take precedence. You don't let just your heart or your mind take precedence, or your lust or your greed or your worldly nature. Now you take all four of them into account because having learned, they're all equally important. And we had to go on that journey in life to learn those lessons. And before, you had lessons to learn. But now you learn the lesson that is love. We all can be caught up in the world. We can all think we're the boss. We can all think, no, 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 God, but I want this and I want to go do this. I'm sure there'll be no consequences. And we find out there are. And when we're ready to kind of more step into being more our authentic self, we let go of investing in looking like we're the boss in the world and that we're in this emotionally balanced, loving relationship. When it could have been, we had gotten too caught up in the world and we realized that I feel left out in the cold from love. I'm not in situations where I feel like it's more just and fair, where people are acting with character and integrity, and I'm willing to let go of what by worldly standards would look like a worldly victory. And if other people still aren't inspired to put in work and effort to kind of get in the driver's seat of their life, and it's still being more caught up in things of the world, you're not going to stay in a relationship with them anymore, because that's not what drives and motivates you anymore, if it did at one time. Or you were offering love, but the people you were in relationship with weren't willing to detach from that old way of viewing life. So it's like, well, then you keep living your life like that, and I wish you peace. And my intuition is like, I can't stay here. This is not my truth. What's coming up? And I think you'll have new emotional beginnings. I think as you keep moving forward in the energy of love, and you keep acting with character and integrity and maintaining balance and in your life and not tipping out of balance, yeah, there's going to be people who are going to see you as someone they want to work with, go into business with, hire, get in a relationship with. You don't act like you're not taking action more out of pride and ego and fear and insecurity and codependency and trying to manipulate and control people. Oh, wow. Yeah, I want to get in a relationship with you. I want you to work here. What's coming up for the... So I think you're going to have new emotional beginnings because you did complete like a cycle. The tens can be completing a cycle and you've been moving forward, love and intuition guiding you. And I think you will have this new beginning that you're looking for. That takes time. It don't necessarily happen overnight for people. What's coming up for the people who might harness a more shadowy Gemini energy or worldly Gemini energy? The Six of Cups and the Seven of Pentacles, because of the Tower, they're going to keep repeating this pattern of the past, which they might not see. They're even repeating that pattern. And they're going to keep investing in that pattern because their philosophy of life hasn't changed. The Tower is like seeing the truth of something, and the truth sets you free. And until, God might keep trying to shake up their life to try to get them to see the truth. How often do people keep staying in relationships or living their life a certain way? Tower after tower happens. Boom, this isn't working out. Boom, you should leave. Boom, this isn't solid and stable and secure. But people can keep ignoring the Tower. I know I shouldn't be doing this. I know this isn't... I know I'm not listening to my intuition. And our intuition was given to us as a gift. Like bats have sonar. And why nature, the things in nature, why they do what they do, because they listen to their intuition. They don't have free will like we do. They're kind of like on a pre-program. Why do birds and butterflies know to fly to warmer climates? Butterflies, it's really interesting if you were to Google butterfly migration to like from North America down to Mexico. Those butterflies that come up into the United States, they were born here and their parents passed away. And they fly down to the same place in Mexico every year, even though none of those butterflies have been there before. And then those butterflies come back up into like the United States. They give birth to new butterflies. The parents die, and those butterflies know to fly back to that place. And when. We have our intuition to guide us, but some people are like, nope, I want what I want. I know best. I don't have to listen to my intuition. I don't want to listen to my intuition. It's trying to play its song. It's trying to get me to go with the flow. But no, I reject that. And part of it can be, they got some lessons learned in the practice card. And they'll probably have some things that won't work out the way they want it, but they'll stubbornly refuse to change for some of them. And if they keep refusing and rejecting a solid, stable foundation, to build a solid foundation, you need to build it on love. Otherwise, you're building a foundation on shifting sand. Why are we getting in relationships? Why, other people listen to their intuition. If there's people that want to be in a relationship for reasons other than love, eventually other people listen to their intuition. Why are we in this relationship? Well, why are you in this relationship? I thought it was going to be about love. I thought we were going to bring a dream into reality. In truth and justice and love. And other people, some people are wanting to repeat some old, like, no, we have to do it like this. Why must we do it like this? And I think it's because they're so afraid. It's like the shadowy Taurus template can be like, no, this is the way I saw other people do it. Maybe the people I was brought up with, none of us were allowed to be creative and inspired and trying to be more creative and color outside the lines. And so that completely got squashed out of me in my life. And so I don't take more bold, brave, confident action in my life. And the only way I feel safe and secure is to live my life. I do this, you do that. And, it's just such a rigid, stuck way of being. I don't know, it gets really hard to keep resisting the flow. And some of the people who could think, I'm so smart, I wear such a good social mask, or I'm so full of myself that everybody else should want to be in a relationship with me like I'm in a relationship with me. And they can't understand why people don't want to keep staying in a relationship with them. Well, until they see the truth, they might end up in a relationship with someone who they do find who is like them. If it is more about being rigid and bossy and we have to conform to the world, nobody takes creative, inspired action, yeah, it definitely will be obvious that is not a foundation built on love and motivated by love. It is motivated by something else. And it could be very difficult for the people involved in it. But if they are so stubborn or so fearful or so driven by ego and image and money, they might stay in it. And then the Six of Cups is this emotionally shallow, superficial relationship not built on love. And I don't know. They have the illusion that they're the boss, but the Tower is, they don't control everything. They can try to confuse people about the truth of who they are and what drives and motivates them. Other people will see the truth of what drives and motivates them. Other people will maybe not want to be in a relationship with them. If they thought they were going to have this certain status and image and people were going to view them this certain way, I don't think that's going to happen. They might be in a relationship that's got money and status or image. But I think a lot of the people who they love could not really hang out with them anymore. They're maybe going to be hanging out more with people that are more like them. And it is all superficial and shallow and about status and ego and image. Because the loving people in their life start to realize they're not who they thought they were. And they're not people they want to keep hanging out with. They can't control everyone and they can't manipulate everyone. And they can't keep hiding the truth of who they are from everyone. And the loving, intuitive people, I think, are going to distance themselves from them. They need to learn some lessons about being stubborn or bossy or controlling or being inauthentic. So there you go, Gemini. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.